All right, y'all, we got a bunch done today. It's not really gonna look like it, but we got the shock mounts all welded out. So both those are fully welded. I had some bars in here, a few little spots I need to weld. Got that all welded up. Needed to weld the bottom side of this, so we popped the transmission out. Got that welded up, and as you can see here, I started putting tabs right there because this is the false floor. So I'm gonna set that back on there, and I'm gonna trace out the holes in the bottom so I know where to drill it, and then I'll see about putting the fasteners in. And other than just cleaning this up a little bit, you know, I used the tools I had to try and get it done, and I think it'd be okay. I'm gonna deburr the edges and all that, and I think it's gonna be fine. I think it's gonna look good. Got the steering all done, that's all welded in. Ain't going nowhere. We put a little black paint on the roof stuff. We pulled the body off. I needed to weld down there, and so that's what I did. Yeah, so I had to weld in that. So we pulled the body off, and while we had it off, we kind of sprayed the top half because she's pretty much done. The body will have to come off again, but that's okay. I need the body on there so we can build the windshield brace. Okay, it's gonna go from this bar, it's gonna follow the curve down and dog leg back in to this dash bar, and that's just to keep the windshield from potentially blowing in at high rates of speed. So I pulled off this brake rod here, and got that all welded up. The two ends are welded. 4-link bars are completely welded out. Okay, got them roset welds, roset, don't know what they call it, but got all those on there. So the 4-link bars are welded out. Really good progress. I need to put in the driveshaft hoop on top of this number 1 bar, and then another one within 6 inches of the U-joint. I think I'm gonna probably put some steel here instead of carbon, just in this triangle, just as an added safety for if something were to happen in the drive shaft. So better safe than sorry. And then I'm gonna do an enclosure as well. So that'll be cool, but it's a lot of progress. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna set this plate back on top of this deal here. Show you how it goes. She's a tight fit, but you get the idea. Here's some of the false floor. So this floor pretty much just be quarter turned in, and I'll probably build a little cover box to sit over the reservoir here to protect it. Yeah, I think it'll work out pretty good. Just this way you can't trip up on any of the bars underneath or anything, and then on my brake assembly, it keeps it above the chassis. That way nothing underneath can hit it. So feel pretty good about that. That's done. Like I said, just drill holes and stuff, and then that's done. Yeah, I'll probably mount this and then try and work on the drive shaft loop situation, but just want to give you all a quick little update. All right, so y'all know where we're at. I got the you can't see it because the truck's up in the air, but the false floor for the driver is quarter turned in. You see the plates. What we're working on right now is drive shaft loops. Probably should have done this a little sooner because this is going to be kind of a tight squeeze and a pain in the butt. So, yeah. That's what we're working on. There needs to be one within 6 inches of the U-joint in the front, and then there's gonna be another one on this number 1 bar back here, which I'll show you if I can squeeze in here. So it'll be another one here between this number 1 and don't remember what number that is, but yeah, you get the idea. Okay, we have the transmission in it, so that's kind of how I know where it falls out. I pulled it out so we could weld out a few things. I just haven't put it back in. No big deal. So that's kind of where we're at. These are my drive shaft loops here. This comes from LJRC, this one right here, and it comes like this, unwelded, so you can pretty much kind of do whatever you want, you know what I mean? You can, anyway, that's how that comes. This one, I believe, is also Larry Jeffers race cars. Sorry, I had to yawn. I think this is also a Larry Jeffers race car one, but I have, this one's supposed to be removable. So let me find the little tabs here, and I'll show you how they send it. Need to deburr that. But you see how that goes, and then also you weld this one wherever you want it as well. Just depends how much drive shaft movement you need. So we got this one. Like I said, this front one is a tad wider than this lower one, which is, being wider is nice, but it's not gonna be the end of the world. I'd like to put this one in the back and use this one in the front, because this is gonna be right by the U-joint, so it's gonna have a little drive shaft movement there, other than it obviously spinning. So the back one is gonna be more susceptible to the drive shaft moving up in this area, and this is a tad wider, so I think it'd be best to put this one in the back, this one in the front. So what I'm gonna do on these, since these are all unwelded and I will have to coat the ends of them, I'm gonna do the trick that we talked about, where I lay it flat on my table and I scribe a line, a straight line, and then once I have that straight line on this, then I have a reference. I'll have a reference point, which will make it super nice. Trying to cope it and get it correct. So this is what I'm working on. I'm gonna try and figure out where exactly I'm gonna put each one and kind of lay it out, and I'll show you once I kind of mock something up and you can see my plan. All right, I think I got a game plan. Check it out. We're gonna take this hoop here, and we're gonna fit it up in here, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and marked the angle of those tubes down there at the bottom, and I'm gonna kind of just trim them up and get a little cope on it to where it'll saddle correctly in here, and we'll weld this solid. This won't be removable, but the tunnel will have tabs up top to where we can try and remove that if we need to, or it just might be permanent. I'm not really sure of a situation where we need to take that out, but I'm not 100% sure yet on that. So we're gonna put this one up here, and as far as the back goes, I don't think I'm gonna use the half moons on the back, since I have the '1 bar and the bar above it. Like I told y'all, I don't remember the number of that one, but I'll put them like such, okay? This way, this will basically be the rear drive shaft enclosure. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm kind of getting set up to notch that tube. I'm gonna use this guillotine notcher here. This 1 5/8 on here. Obviously, I'm gonna swap it out. That's what you just saw in my hand a minute ago. So I'm gonna get this swapped out. I'm gonna get the hoop fit up in here, and the bits centered with this tube, because I don't want to offset cope. So I'm gonna get that going. That's just kind of where we're at right now. I told you I'd let you know what I come up with and show you a little mock-up. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that piece coped out, and then I'll show you what it looks like sitting in there. All right, I think we got the front drive shaft loop in. Let's take a whirlwind here. Yeah, come out pretty good. I'm happy with it. Yep, that'll work. Now to work on the back one. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think.